Gojuger episode 42 opens up in Queen Jun's palace after the victory she has, stealing Kumidi's Tega Nagumi from him, and all of her little minions out there are celebrating the victory. But just wait, there was one little minion, and we all know it by Bouquet, that's ready to walk away. She excuses herself because all she's thinking about is not the victory, but to kill Rico. So when we get to the cafe of Gojuger's, you get to see Rikino sitting there making a cup of tea, thinking about Lady Bouquet and how to fix the relationship. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's a portal that opens up on one of the tables, and Kumidi goes up to Tega's sword and goes, "Did you do this?" And he goes, "I have nothing to do with it," basically. And all of a sudden, you see Rikino kind of freak out and jump through the table portal because he thinks Lady Bouquet might be in there. And spoiler alert, she is. But the other Go Jugers decide to jump after him because they're dumbfounded that, Ryder Rikino just all of a sudden just jump in. So they went after him basically to find out that they end up right in front of Queen Jun's palace. And they're about ready to go to the palace, and all of a sudden you see go over this little hip, and you see all the other Queen Jun's minions right there in front of them. You got Lady Bouquet, you got the two-headed monster, you got the bell guys. Only one you don't have is the main male antagonist that I can't think of the guy's name still to this day. Every time I watch the show, I see it and I can't remember it. I'm sorry about that. But there's a twist to this plot. A big twist that we're going to get into in a minute that happened in the beginning of this episode. I left out because I wanted to talk about it at the end of the episode. So there are three plots to this. The Queen Jun plot with Tega, Nagami. We got the other one with Lady Bouquet and Rikino, and one with Gojaruf's brother and Queen Jun. Now, we're going to talk about them all right now, starting with Tega, Nagami, and Queen Jun, before we get into the one story that I love the most, and that is the basic story of Gojuger. And I want to explain that a little bit more in depth here in a minute. But Queen Jun is trying to convince Tega Nagami that Tega Nagami is her son, her prince. She's the queen, that's her prince. And how you're supposed to be, with me and not Kumidi. And it's crazy because when you first see Tega Nagami, he looks like a baby, being treated like a baby, playing games and all this, and he hates it because he's not a baby. It's supposed to be the comical side of the story. But Queen Jun deducts him from the little baby pen that he's in to like this, puppet theater thing, and talking about, how you were supposed to be with me. Kumidi is not the person you're supposed to be with. You're my prince. I'm your queen. And she explains to him that, she's just trying to make the world a better place, and how, all the bad people need to go. When Tega Nagami says to her that, there are good people out in the world, even though there's bad people. There's good people like Kumidi. And she basically says this, and I love this little scene I'm going to show you here, that why don't we make everybody like Kumidi then? And Tega Nagami has a vision in his head showing this. And it is a crazy vision. I love it, but hey, you know what? So at the end of the conversation, Tega Nagami is basically refusing to believe Queen Jun, even though Queen Jun had said previously that she was made for like the secondary vision of Tega's sword. So in a way, I guess you can look at this as Tega's sword himself is King Queen Jun, and then Tega Nagami would be their kid. It's kind of a weird concept, but basically Tega Nagami has told Queen Jun, go F yourself, I'm not going to be part of this issue, and she sends him back to the baby room. During all that, you got Kumidi and his friend Gojaruf looking for him instead of being in the battle that was happening outside. Well, they find him, and of course they fight the guy. I'm gonna find his name and I'm gonna put it right here. The enemy to release Tega Nagami. Well, the little floating animal that connects to Tega Nagami actually releases him from his chains from the baby room. And there's a big battle between Gojaruf and the main male antagonist, and he almost dies. Gojaruf almost dies because he's having fun, thinking it's a fun little battle. But the male antagonist is ready to really kill him. But anyways, that all stops. He escapes, and next thing is going on is the twist. But we're going to get back to the twist, so stay with me. Rikino and Lady Bouquet's part of this episode is very in depth, very in deep. Now we know Lady Bouquet is after Rikino for killing her sister Ribbon, and she has not stopped thinking about killing Rikino to the point where when Rikino lands on Queen Jun's palace location, she's ready to kill him right there. And they had the greatest battle of all times here. I like the visuals, I like everything about it. I even like the point where she almost gets the rights to kill Rikino and Gojo Unicorn steps in and gets kicked. And yes, I am showing you the whole battle kind of chopped up because I think in this case, I can explain it, but I think it looks better to explain it kind of like right next to the video because the battle that they have is so fast, so aggressive. I love it. To the point, even when they hop in the mechs, Lady Bouquet has no, heart. She is ready just to kill him in the mech. Even when she calls the mech and Goju Lion goes to Goju Lion, Tega's sword, mech, I guess, flipping down the little sword thing he has, the morpher. It's fantastic. And I think overall, I really want to get more in depth with this story. But when it comes to timing of everything, I think reality is there was only two ways they were going to end this. And there was a third way I was not expecting it. I was expecting Rikino to accidentally kill Lady Bouquet or Lady Bouquet killing Rikino. That's what I thought was really going to happen. But in this, I was 100% wrong, but I'm glad I was 100% wrong because I kind of like this ending better. I'm kind of emotionally attached to these two characters for some reason. I don't know how that happened because when I first started watching this show, I was not attached at all. But later on in the storyline, this became my focus. So, excuse me for focusing on a love story that I usually don't do when I watch these shows. But Rikino is in love with Lady Bouquet in a way that Lady Bouquet isn't. Lady Bouquet is in love with Rikino because of the fan. She's a, number one fan as an old TV show I used to watch. Yeah. Anyways, Rikino just wants the number one fan back on his side, loving him because that's how Rikino is. He just wants everybody in the world to love him. But during the Battle of the Zords, Rikino and her cross paths spiritually, I'm going to say. And you get to see him basically talking to Lady Bouquet. And Lady Bouquet starts breaking down and crying. Her emotions are overwhelming her. And basically, Rikino says to her, "Why are you crying?" Because as far as he knows, she just wants him to die. And he's really realizing that she doesn't want to kill him. She just wants to make him pay, basically. I think when I look at the storyline, I feel more of in touch with it, being in relationships and stuff, that it kind of touches a part of my heart a little bit differently than maybe some people. But at the end of this, he's ready to help her forgive himself, I guess, for killing Ribbon. Because in the Gojuger way, if you remember, in the Gojuger way, as a monster comes out, takes the human, and you have to kill the monster by taking the human out first. Well, in this case, he's ready to do that with Lady Bouquet's Zord. And you see his Zord basically stab Lady Bouquet's Zord. And but when he does that, they go to another scene where you see Lady Bouquet and her mech, seeing Rikino saying, "Give me your hand if you still have feelings for me." And of course, Lady Bouquet does. And next thing you see is the mech, the Zord, take the Tega's sword out, and her Zord blows up. And the next thing you see is him opening up the hand of his Zord, and there's Lady Bouquet laying there. That was amazing to me. I think the whole ribbon situation with Rikino and Lady Bouquet had a great moment in this series. Now, there's a lot of questions going on here. What's going to happen with Lady Bouquet? Because the next scene you see is her with Rikino in the Zord, kind of like snuggling up to her. And I think it's a fantastic scene. And I hate to say it, I'm curious if she's going to be good or if she's going to wake up with a different mindset and try to stop Queen Jun, or just go, okay, well, I'm not angry with Rikino anymore. I know who he is. Who knows what the story's going? But we got to get to the twist. So if you stayed this far, we get to talk about the twist now. Now, as we know, Gojaruf's brother was on Queen Jun's side. He got taken over by Queen Jun way in the beginning of the season, and now the plot twist thickens. Now, in the beginning of this episode, I forgot to tell you about was Gojaruf's brother, name here on the screen, told Queen Jun that someone is coming to basically take over, and there's like a something big is gonna happen. Well, Queen Jun tells him that sooner or later we're gonna be combined very soon. And what does that mean? Well, guess what? She was absolutely right, and he was right. But he's been in the palace the whole time. Gojaruf's brother had this planned out the whole time. Queen Jun finds out that his whole plan was to take over the palace, take over her life force. So not only does he have Queen Jun and all these other Sentai rings, but now he looks like this. And Gojaruf walks in, noticing that his brother has a different look, and how he says that now he doesn't have any restrictions and he is the prey. Gojaruf is now the prey of the season. And so we end up with Gojaruf going to attack his brother and get teleported out to Tega's sword. Well, Gojaruf's Tega's sword. And the other one, Tega Nagami, keeping the portal open so they can go back to their part of the world. And we end up like that. That was the end of Gozyuger episode 2. And it is a lot to take in. I do love the episode. I think it was fantastic to see the emotional attachment between Lady Bouquet and Rico finally ended up together in a different type of relationship. It's not a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. It's more of a fan-based relationship, even though I think Lady Bouquet really does want to be girlfriend to Rico. A lot of fans want to do that with their fan base. Anyways, off subject there. I love the mind twist of Queen Jun and Gojaruf's brother being combined together. That twist was fantastic. I did not see that one coming at all. So yeah, I don't think Gojaruf's brother is going to ever be good. I think he's going to end up blowing up, and it's going to be interesting to see the next 2 episodes, depending on how they're going to do it, because remember, the rumor is it was supposed to be 50, but we see that, Project Red's coming next month, so we might have a time slot issue, or maybe they'll just combine like an episode together with Project Red and Gozyuger together to introduce Project Red. Who knows? But we are very close to Project Red, but I'm very excited to see how Gozyuger ends finally. And guys, I gotta say, thank you for all the support here on this channel. I want to say we're so close to that 400,000 watch hours that I can't wait to I hope it will hit at the end of this month. And if you see that button to become a membership, click it. I always post the videos first on the membership for the first hour, 2 hours, or maybe even a day before, depending on how important the information is, there before it lands on the main channel for everybody else to watch. I will be making actual membership videos if I get 1 or 2 members just for them. And some of those membership videos might be requests from you guys, the members, when you join. If the membership video button isn't there, the membership button's not there, don't worry. I will talk to YouTube about it to get it fixed. I do know I have it because every time I post, it says membership. But thanks for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy this video right here. Peace.